Okay, let me send it that way, and I can start right now. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out what Untitled is. Okay, here we go. So today we're gonna be learning how to multiply and divide fractions. Okay, multiplying. I'm gonna start with multiplying. Okay, fractions. So multiplying fractions. Okay, so the first thing when you're multiplying fractions, it has to be in fraction form. Okay, so anytime that you're multiplying fractions, I have to do it in fraction form. What does that mean? It means that I better have a numerator and I better have a denominator. Okay? So if I want to multiply a fraction to another fraction, it better be numerator, denominator. It better be a fraction form. Now kids always wonder, sure, could be proper? Yes. As long as there's a numerator denominator, I don't care if it's improper, I need it fraction form. So, you know, you can't multiply a mixed number times a fraction. Okay? Questions so far? And right now when I give you examples, you're gonna probably understand it better. So this is good. This one is ready to be multiplied. This is what I would consider as, okay, this guy is ready to be multiplied. We have a numerator, denominator, which is fraction form. He's ready to go. Now let me show you one that's not ready. This won't be not ready. Why? Because this guy is a mixed number, it's not a fraction form. This is a mixed number. You see that U? What's the U? What do you think the U represents? Yeah, it's a whole, it's a units. Very good. So if I have a mixed number times a mixed number, we have to change it to fraction form. Okay? If both of them are fraction forms, then it's ready. If they're mixed numbers, then it's not ready. Okay? This is another example. Right now, and those are like, so what do we do with those? Right now I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with those, okay?
See you later, sir. I'll
Yes,
try
sir.
to get it today.
Okay,
Okay. We'll see you later, sir.
thank you. Now some kids might call this ready, but it's not. This one will be not ready because of who? The mixed number, the first one. This will be a not ready. This guy messes up the problem. Okay? So whenever we have this situation, we're gonna use our Texas strategy. And those that forgot that, I will remind you today. Don't worry. So if I have a mixed number like I do here on these, I have to do Texas strategy on this guy, and that guy. So that we can have fraction form. Okay? So your first job when you're multiplying fractions, rational numbers, is to check are they both fraction form. And you're multiplying three of them or all of them fraction form. You can only have ND and D. You cannot have a whole number in front of a mixed number. Okay? Questions? Now a kid told me, sir, but can we change them to decimals and then multiply decimals? Yes, you can, but if I work harder when I'm gonna teach you how to work smarter with these type, this is not that bad. I would not want to change a fraction to a decimal to multiply. I wouldn't. Okay? I think multiplying fractions is a little bit easier than multiplying decimals, especially some of you that get all confused with lining up the numbers and counting the decimals, places, and all that stuff. This is probably gonna be easier for you. Maybe not. I mean, you decide at the end. If you think, you know what, I want to change it to decimal, multiply decimals, go for it. I think that would take longer though. Right now, you're gonna see. So here's an example. I'm gonna do the first example with you all. Okay? So like that, you can know what I'm talking about. So again, if I have this situation, we're gonna do the Texas strategy, and that's gonna make it into a fraction form. Okay? So let me start with the example. I'm gonna just draw a line. And I'm gonna start doing some examples of multiplying fractions so like that you kind of get the hang of this hopefully. Number one, we have 1/3 times 3/5. So again, your first job is to check if they're ready. Do you think these are ready?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Look at the word ready. Fraction n over d. Is that what we have n over d? Yes. Is that what we have n over d? Yes. This is ready to go. Once you see that both of them are fraction forms, well, we do this. We go across. What's 1 times 3? 3. What's 3 times 5? 15. There, I'm done. Okay? However, whenever you're multiplying fractions, we need to check if we could simplify. So today I'm going to teach you how to simplify too, in case you didn't learn that in elementary. Okay? So again, what I say is the fraction ready when we're trying to see if the guy, if the ones you're multiplying are in fraction form, which is if it's a numerator denominator. Okay? Questions so far? Okay, let's see if this thing is gonna work. There we go. So fraction form means numerator denominator. If you notice this guy here, that's all it has, numerator denominator. This one, numerator denominator. Because they are both ready in fraction form, I just go across. 1 times 3, 3. 3 times 5, 15. Now I need to check if I can simplify. So I'll teach you right now how to simplify in case you're like, I forgot how to simplify, okay? So, right here, 3 out of 15. What I like to do when I'm simplifying, I like to check for the smallest number. So who's the smallest number here?
3.
Now, can 3, the smallest number, give you 15? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So guess what? I can simplify with 3. Now, when you're simplifying, you're making less pieces, okay? So 3 divided by 3 would be? 3 divided by 3?
9.
Hombre, 1. We're dividing. 3 divided by 3, 1. We're simplifying now. What's 15 divided by 3? 5. Now, after you simplify, check again. Can I simplify further? Like, for example, the smallest is 1. Okay? Once the smallest is 1, that's it. It's already simplified. So that's your final answer, 1/5. So when you're multiplying fractions, we just go across. 1 times 3, 3. 3 times 5, 15. Then we have to simplify. Where did I get the 3? Well, from here. That's how I simplified. Question with number 1. Number 2. Now, if you don't have space, you can go to the back of your. You're supposed to be doing this in the notes journal. As a matter of fact, this is page 9 from the notes journal. Page 9. Okay? Page 9. And today is the 27th. Page 8 was about multiplying decimals. Today is about multiplying fractions. Okay? Number 2.
Not ready.
Okay, is this guy ready?
No.
No. The one that's not ready is the first fraction or the second? The first one. This is a mixed number. So now I'm going to do Texas strategy. What's the abbreviation for the word Texas? TX. So I'm going to put the T on the top of the 3 of the numerator. And in math, the T is really, guess what? A plus. And the X I'm going to put here between. That's why I call this the Texas strategy, so you can remember. Again, the T is a plus, the X is a multiply. Okay? We all live in Texas, right? Because, I mean, we're here right now. So, I tell my kids, once you get older, you would want to travel around the world, right? Hopefully. So, some of you might not, like, I'm not a traveler, I don't like to really travel, I like to stay here in Texas. But some of you might want to go around the world. So here's what I tell the kids, because kids get confused, like, okay, now you know I'm going to add a multiply, but what do I do first? So here's what you do. You live in Texas? Hey, you live in Texas, but we want to go around the world. So I'm going to draw an arrow like this, so I can know the order that I'm going to do. So I live in Texas, but I want to travel the world, hopefully. So what's 5 times 1? 5. Plus the 3, 8. That will be your numerator now. You see that denominator of 5?
Yes.
It stays the denominator still.
But wouldn't that be improper?
And remember that our goal, I'm glad he said that, he's like, sir, but that's improper. I thought you said that we don't want it improper. But because our goal when you're multiplying fractions to have a numerator denominator, I don't care if it's proper or improper. I need to have it as a fraction form. But that's a good question, sir. So, Mr. Hector said, you know what, sir, but that's improper. That's okay because I wanted a fraction form. And since I wanted a fraction form, I don't care if you're improper or proper, I need ND. Do I have ND now?
Yes.
Yes, now we're okay.
Ready.
Now I'm gonna breathe times. This guy was already ready, right? ND?
Yes.
So he'll stay the same. Now we're ready to go. We just draw an arrow across because that's what we're gonna multiply. What's 8 times 3? 24.
That was 36.
And what's 5 times 4? 20.
Big number.
Now that's still improper, so we don't like that. Like he said, now we don't want an answer to be improper. However, before I even worry with that, I first have to worry about, can I simplify this thing? So, I didn't tell you on the first one the little strategy of the checklist, but I'm going to tell you now because these are bigger numbers. So I'm going to go here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I could have done it on the first one the same thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That little checklist is common factors. Like I'm trying to figure out, like here, I'm gonna go back to the original problem, the problem number 1. I should have told you this. I'm gonna go down the list and ask myself, can 2 give me 3? No. Can 3 give me 3? Yes. And then can 3 give me 15? Yes. That's why we use 3 to simplify on the first problem. Now let's look to the second problem. I'm gonna do the same thing. Can 2 give me 24? Yes.
12
Times 12. Very good, sir. Can 2 give me 20?
Yes.
Times what? 10. So guess what? I'm gonna put a little check mark on 2 and say, you know what, 2, I can use you to simplify. You're a common factor. 2 is a common factor of 24 and 20. Here, let me look it up for the one that can't see. Okay? Now, can 3 give me 24? Yes. But can 3 give me 20? No. So 3 will not give me a good one to simplify. Right now we're checking what am I going to simplify this fraction with. So far we're going to simplify with 2 so far. 4. Can 4 give me 24? Yes. Can 4 give me 20?
Yes,
Yes. Guess what? 4 works. So now we have 2 that we can use. 5. Can 5 give me 24?
Yes.
No. It could give me 20, but not 24, so 5 will not work for me. How about 6?
Yes.
No.
With 24?
Just with 24, but not with both. Remember, we're trying to find a common factor for both of them, right? How about 7? No. 8?
Yes.
Only with 24, but not with 20. 9? No. 10? Only with 20, but not with 24. 11? No. So we have two choices. We have either 2 or 4. We want to use the GCF, the greatest common factor, which is in this case 4. So I'm going to simplify with 4. 24, 20 divided by 4, 4. Now those kids that are wondering, like, sir, some kids have a hard time. I don't know why they have a hard time. Oh, there I got you right there. Come on. There we go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I got there again. You're gonna need a new doctor, right? There we go. Okay. Those that do not know how to simplify, like they're like, where did you get the 4 from that little checklist? I always write a little checklist: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now in the first class, somebody asked me, why don't you start with 1? Because if you start with 1, it's gonna be the same thing. If I go 24 divided by 1, well, I'll say 24. 20 divided by 1 is gonna be 20. So did you really simplify? No, you didn't. You left it 6. So I'm gonna simplify by 4, 4. Now, if you don't know how to do this method, you can always do it this way. You can go 4 times what gives me 24?
6.
6. So 6 goes down the top. 4 times what gives me 20?
5.
There, I just simplified. The answer right now is 6/5, but this is an improper fraction. This is an improper answer. Well, fraction, which is this is the answer already, but it's improper. We don't want to leave an answer as improper. So I'm going to have to do bottom out. So let me go to the side and do bottom out. 6 divided by 5. Again, those kids that are wondering, like, why is he doing another step again?
Yeah.
Because my answer is improper, and I don't want to leave the answer as improper. Because we understand the answer better if it's back to whole, right? Now, is 6 enough for 5?
Yes. Yes. 1.
1. So it is enough.
2.
Now, some kids are going to say, oh, let's add a 0, right? Most of you are used to, yeah, let's add a 0 now, right? Because we put a decimal. But we're working with fractions, not decimals, right? So you probably wonder, like, so why did you put the decimal, R.Rivera? I put the decimal so I can know who's the whole. So now we have, you see that decimal there? Let me spotlight it so you can see what I'm talking about. So, I put the decimal so I can quickly know that this one is my what? Whole. If you look at the Crazily chart that's on the wall, there's a decimal, and to the left are the units, which are the wholes. So guess what? To the left of this decimal, that one means the whole. So we're not going to add a 0 here like last week where we're like dividing fractions into decimals because we're making them in decimals. We're not working with decimals. We want to keep it as a fraction, right? So you see that whole there? I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, now I know that this fraction has one whole. So I'm going to come and say, you know what? I'm going to make that whole big because we have a whole. Questions with that part?
No,
All I did, I said, okay, here's my decimal. So I know that one is a whole, so that's why I wrote one whole. You see that piece that was left over? That piece that was left over is your numerator. So I'm going to put him on the top. So that piece that's left over, I'm going to say, you know what? One piece left over. You see that 5? He was always the denominator, right? That 5 was always the denominator, so guess what I'm gonna put here in the bottom? A 5. So my final answer really is 1 and 1/5.
That's all.
Now somebody in the other class told me, sir, but I thought you said that we don't want a mixed number. We don't want a mixed number when we're multiplying or dividing, but as an answer, I need to change the improper answer to a mixed number. Okay? Questions?
No, sorry.
Okay, let me do another one. I'm gonna go to my back page now. Anytime that you go to the back page of the journal, don't forget to write the title again. So we're multiplying fractions right now. And this is page 10 now. And we're still on the 27th. And I'm gonna do number 3.
Sir, gonna go see the new movie on Friday?
When
I'm gonna.
no.
Huh?
Three o'clock.
Isn't that a big orange card?
Okay, you see that little dot that I just drew?
Yes, sir.
That little dot in math also means multiplying.
What's like?
Okay, so I don't want you to get confused and oh, what's the dot now?
Can
We can use the dot as a multiplication symbol. And as a matter of fact, we start doing that a lot in middle school because once we start working with algebraic equations, we use the x a lot like a variable. So if you ever see me put a dot, like in between, I know I need to do that's multiplying, okay?
Mister, all these extra things are.
So this problem says 4/5 times 1 and 2/8. Your first job. Is it ready? Let's start with this guy. Is this guy ready?
Yes.
Yeah, numerator, denominator, that's good. Is this guy ready? It's
No.
a mixed number. Okay? So guess what? What strategy do I have to use for this guy to make him ready? Texas. So T, X. And then we're going to go around the world. So here we go. Let's go around the world. 8 times 1? 8.
8.
Plus 2?
10.
10.
Yes, I got it right.
Who was always at the bottom? 8.
That's improper.
10.
And is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. When we're multiplying fractions, that's what we want, sir. Okay? And that's why kids get confused because they're like, sir, but because you told us that that's not okay to have improper. When I'm multiplying fractions, I need to have fraction form, fraction form. This guy is not okay for me right now because I'm multiplying them. Now, once I get a final answer, I don't want to have an answer of improper. You're right, that's not okay. But right now, I need an improper so I can multiply these. Yes, sir.
For the simple multiplication, I know in Gendos and Fenindos they also say that brackets could be also known as multiplication.
Yeah, parenthesis brackets will be known as multiplication too. You're right.
For this problem, is it possible if we can put it brackets like there?
Not yet. I would prefer, because really I would prefer this is not bracket. Okay? Okay, now are these fraction? Is this a fraction?
Yes.
Is this a fraction?
Yes.
Yeah, it's improper, but who cares? That's okay. Now we go. What's 4 times 10?
40.
40. 5 times 8?
40. Oh.
Okay. 40 out of 40. Now this is the easiest answer because we know that 40 out of 40 really means 1 whole. So this one will not take us long. The final answer is 1 whole. Question with number 3. Draw a line. And I'm going to do the last one, number 4.
Number 4.
2 and 3/4
Already.
times 1 and 4/10.
Both not ready.
Okay, so both of them are not ready. They're mixed number times mixed number, so we're gonna take care of that. So text strategy TX around the world. TX around the world. So I live in Texas, TX, and then we're going around the world. So let's go. What's 4 times 2? 8 plus 3?
11.
11 on top. Who was at the bottom?
4.
Stays there. 10 times 1
10.
plus 4?
14.
Who's at the bottom? 10.
10.
Okay, now we're ready to roll. Now we have fraction, right?
Yes.
Now we're okay. So I'm gonna go across 11 times 14 and 4 times 10. Now that 11 times 14 is not as easy to do mentally, right? So guess what? Go to the side and take care of it. So let me go to the side and take care of it. What's 4 times 1?
4.
4. 4 times 1?
4.
4. Cross it out and put a what?
0.
0. 1 times 1?
1.
1. 1 times 1?
1.
1.
That's 154.
154.
150.
That's why we don't do mental math, because then we will do a little mistake.
That's a big number.
Okay, so 154. Now, 4 times 10, that's easy.
40.
40.
Yes, I actually found out.
Okay, that's improper answer. We don't want that. But before we even check that, let's check if we can simplify it. Who's going to help me with simplify the checklist? So let me do a checklist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's start with 2. Do you think that 2 can give me those? I'm going to give you some little tricks.
Yes, yes.
If they're even, 2 can give you those. So 2 would work, guys. Okay? 3, can 3 give you both? No. Can 4 give you both? Maybe, right? I know for sure 40. I'm not sure about 154. Do you think that 4 can give me 154?
But you said it's if it is an even.
I said that with 2. I said if both of them are even, 2 is a fact.
Don't we divide them?
So 4 maybe. I'm gonna put a question mark. Then I'm gonna show you what's called. They're called divisibility rules. Okay, and you'll go a bit faster with it. Can 5 give you those 2?
No.
And then give you a little trick for 5, because the 2 either even, it works, but
If there's a 0, and I think in the last number, it's 5.
yeah, a 0 or a 5. Look what he said. Very good, Hector. So he already found another rule. Guys, if they're even, 2 works. Now Hector just gave another one. If the last number in the ones place, the last one, if the last one is a 5 or a 0, then 5 can give you that number. So 5 can give us a 40, but can 5 give you the 154?
No.
So guess what? 5 is not gonna work.
No.
Let me give you a little trick for 6.
It starts with a 9?
Ready? Listen, so you can start. That's why I like to do this little checklist. 6. If 2 and 3 have a check mark, 6 works.
I knew it.
If 2 and 3 have a check mark, 6 works. Does 2 and 3 have a check mark?
No.
So forget 6. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
7. Can 7 give you 40?
No.
Wait, 7 doesn't even have this simplified rule.
8, can 8 give you 40?
Yes.
Yes, but can 8 give you 154? But we're not sure about 8. You see that 4 and 8? We're not really sure. 9, can I give you 40? No.
Yes.
And you see how much R.Rivera is going with the smaller one first, because that one I can probably do mentally than the bigger one. So that's why if the 9 cannot give you the smaller one, but then we don't have to even worry about taking the bigger one. Can 10 give me 40? But can give you 154? No. Who thinks that they know the rule of 10? Like right now we just learned 2 rules. The 2, either even, it works. The 5, you have to have what at the end? A 0 or a 5. And now we have a 10. Third?
I have a 0.
Very good. So you see that 0?
Yes.
That 10 will work. But is there a 0 there?
No.
That 10 will not work.
Como 5.
Can 11 give you 40? So who's the one that's for sure gonna work right now? 2 and maybe 4 and maybe 8. So when this happens, I'm gonna go with a for sure, which is a 2. Divided by 2. 154 divided by 2. So that one is not one that I can do mentally, so I'm gonna go 154 divided by 2. Okay? On the side. Put your decimal at the end, just so we can know who's the whole and who's not. And I'm not going in order. 1, is that enough? No. 15, is that enough? Yes, times what?
What?
Times what?
6.
7 will be 14. Bring down the 4. 14, is that enough?
No.
14 is not enough for 7?
Yes.
How many for 2? Times 7 again.
There you go.
So guess what? 154 divided by 2 is 77, guys.
Are you okay?
Now 40 divided by 2, that's pretty easy to do mentally. 40 divided by 2, 20. So this will be my answer right now. However, this is what? Improper. So what's the next thing to do? Bottom out, so we can find the holes. Okay? So bottom out. So 20 goes out, 77 goes in. I put my decimal here just so I can identify who's the holes and who are the parts. So here we go. 77 times 3 is 60, right? Do we drop a 0? No, because we're working with fractions. So here we go. You see your decimal? That tells me that this 3 is a what? A whole. So let's put the whole already. You see the remainder? Those are the pieces that were left, so they go to the top. You see this guy? He was always at the what? Bottom. And just think about it, he's bottom out. So guess where he goes? At the bottom. This would be really my final answer. Questions with that one? A lot of work on that one. We have to do a lot of work. We have to first figure out the text strategy, then we have to simplify, then we have to put it back to mixed number because we don't want an answer to be improper. Questions with multiplying fractions? Hold on. Hey, you need to go home and do these 2 problems by yourself. Hey, you need to do these problems and the other journal by yourself. 3/5 times 3/4. This is number 1. And number 2, you only have 2 problems since I ran out of time with y'all. 1.5 times 1/4. These 2 are for homework. Copy them before you leave. What are you gonna do these 2? In the other journal, not on this one. This is for homework. This is for homework for this class. Homework, HW. 2 little products. So you can go practice how to multiply fractions.